Welcome back to another awesome day, and we're going to get into all the good news. Obviously, Trump they're signing more executive orders today, expanding shipping in the United States in a big way, and I was really hoping he would do this. This is going to be absolutely big for America. So expect a massive expansion of U.S. shipping over the next 4 years. It's going to be fun to see that. The other one, of course, we've also seen is that stock market was pulled back a bit today on tariff fears, and of course, we've also seen Bitcoin holding up very well. And we're going to talk about all the reasons for that at the moment, which is very bullish indeed. So if you've been down on crypto, hopefully some of the news I'm going to talk about today is going to really lift your spirits there. We're also going to get into Richard Hart. He's been posting some really good stuff around X and Pulsechain, and of course, we're going to get into the markets updates for everything pretty much, including Pulsechain and TitanX. So I hope you enjoy. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. We're streaming to over 10,500 awesome subscribers, and of course, over 3 different YouTube channels as well. If you want to join our Discord, links are in the video description. And I've got a big new offer coming up soon. It's in production, so that's going to come out too soon. So check it out. All right, so we've got the Property Review in-house there. Great channel on economics and policy, political policy. Hey, thanks for that, Property Review. Appreciate that. Big shout out. And of course, a new Discord member as well. I think from yesterday, the day before. Fantastic. And we've got MBS in the house there as well. Morning, Super. Hey, good to see you, MBS. Hope you're doing well up there. You certainly should be, given the fact that you're an Finvestor. So nice stuff there. All right, without further ado, let's get into the stock market update and have a look at the pullback today on tariffs. So let's go to check that out. So yeah, the S&P 500 closed lower as tariff jitters fuel the sell-off. And of course, let's look at the indices. We've got the Dow Jones down 1%, down 427 points to 42,579 on the index. We've got the S&P 500 down 1.8%, 104 points to 5,738. And we've got the NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it, down 2.6%, 483 points to 18,000. So what a week of volatility it has been, right? So we have a look at the weekly chart here. We can see if we look at the NASDAQ, we can see it started off at about 19,000. It's currently down at 18,000, so down pretty much 1,000 points, and it's been up and down all week. We look at the S&P 500, pretty similar story there. And of course, the Dow Jones as well. We started off pretty high, actually, didn't we? About 43, almost 44,000. We're now at 42,600, so we're down about 1,400 points. So pretty severe there. A dollar at the moment is at 104.16, and that's definitely been down quite a bit. If we look over the last week, it was pretty strong up at 107. Now we're at 104. That's very significant on the dollar index as well. So that volatility caused by Trump's reorganization and tariffs is a very big deal. And tariff signaling today, Trump signaling today that he's less concerned about, when asked about the stock market, he says, well, he considers it really the globalists moving this down because he's really looking for American first. And so if people want to do well, they need to be in America. So that strategy is definitely playing out there. Now, we know that they're in pretty deep conversations with the Canadians who are having a bit of fallout with Trudeau. Of course, we know who's a pretty bad leader anyway, regardless of the tariffs. And apparently some of the language got pretty heated, including swearing on the phone. So that's not surprised. Of course, Trudeau arguably is going to elections soon, I think within the next 30 days or so. That's going to be announced. So we'll see what happens there. And of course, he is currently a dictatorial prime minister because the parliament is not in session. And of course, we're looking for those elections. And of course, America would be infinitely better off without him if he loses. So fingers crossed for that. Hopefully, Pierre Poilievre will win that in Canada and bring the Conservatives into Canada as well. We also see some of the states like Alberta wanting to go into the United States. So that's going to be interesting there as well. On the Mexican, we've obviously seen some progress with the Mexican tariff talks. Looks like they have some sort of suspensions going on there. Hopefully we'll talk more about that in another show, but that's looking kind of positive too. So we'll probably get some mixed bag news, maybe even very positive news with the tough tariff technique there as well. All right, so that is kind of where we are. Let's have a look at the oil prices. We've got West Texas at $66, Brent oil at $69. So that's definitely come out down over the last week. We're up at $70, down at $66. So already that's really, really good to see that oil coming off there. Gold at the moment, $2,919, pretty flat. Silver at $33.22, pretty flat as well. So some of the news, of course, tariff uncertainty pushes the bulls to the sideline. Investors appear to be waiting on the sidelines until further clarity on the trade policies emerge following wild swings from the Trump administration on recent imposed tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Now, we know that on the 2nd of April, we're going to get the reciprocal tariffs set up, and there's other tariffs coming as well around Japan and South Korea and countries like that. So there's going to be a bit more. The next month's going to be, a bit choppy. We're going to have some good news and some challenging news, probably the way it will go. But I'm still very bullish about from today on, or tomorrow onwards, actually, US time. I'm going to talk about that news, and of course from mid-March there to expect crypto to really take off. President Donald Trump announced that all goods and services from Mexico that comply with the USMCA would be that's basically the Trump tariff between Mexico, Canada, and US that took over from NAFTA, and so would be granted a month delay from the recent 25% duties imposed on Mexico imports. So we're already seeing some of these tariff negotiations starting to work, with negotiations going. So we'll get some good news out of this, I'm sure. The announcement came a day after the White House granted US automakers complying with the USMCA a 1-month reprieve from the tariffs. Canada, so we're already seeing some adjustments there. They've obviously, with the US automakers, this given them the time to be able to comply. They had 3 big automakers come to Trump, say, hey, we need time. We can't just respond to this like that, or actually pretty damaging for us. So Trump's gone along with that. Canada is reportedly also expecting to be granted similar exemption, according to multiple outlets. However, Trudeau's been, is normal self, so we'll see where that goes. Jobless claims keep economic growth concerns front and center as well. Obviously, we've got out there this fear of recession. Remember, recession is 2 quarters that are negative GDP growth. So that is the fear. And obviously, coming out from the terrible Biden era and, of course, high interest rates from the central bank in America, those are the concerns that may feed into that. They're always delayed impacts, right? So data released earlier Thursday showed that the number of Americans filing new applications for unemployment benefits fell more than expected last week, dropping 21,000 to seasonally adjusted 221,000 for the week ended March the 1st. Yet despite this relatively good news, Philadelphia Federal Reserve President Patrick Harker said on Thursday that trouble may be brewing for the U.S. economy that is currently in good shape, but showing signs of stress in the consumer sector and risk of the inflation outlook. And of course, people are still taking on the impact of accumulated inflation, even though inflation is down to 3%. Still got a 3.2 maybe. It's down. It's still accumulated impact. So people are still dealing with that, and people have probably run through a lot of their savings as well. Because remember, we come through from a low interest environment to a very high interest environment, and then it's coming down now. But you got all those cumulative impacts there. Investors are now keenly awaiting Friday's employment report to gauge the health of the U.S. economy and the Federal Reserve's future interest rate trajectory amid fears the new tariffs, coupled with rising raw material costs at factories, suggest inflation may increase in the coming months. So there's a bit of fear about that too. So that's kind of some of the economic news there. Now, we do have a Federal Reserve meeting coming up, so let's quickly check that while we're at it. So let's go to the Federal Rate Monitor, I think it is, and we'll check that too. So, we've got a Fed meeting coming up in 1 week, 5 days and 18 hours. So that's the 19th of March. So you can put that in your calendar. And that is, we've got 88% chance of a no change. So 4.25 to 4.5% on the federal funds rate. So expecting a no change there at the moment. Are we expecting one in May? No, we're not expecting one in May. The majority is 50%, although we've got a pretty big minority, 44%, expecting a 25 basis point one. And we might very well get one then. That'll be pretty interesting. Obviously, Trump is pretty happy with the interest rates were at the moment, although he has been changing his mind a little bit on that. And of course, if you want to get the economy going, you want lower interest rates, right? All the inputs into the economy, you want to be low, like you want oil to be low, you want interest rates to be low, but of course you've got to adjust to the ecosystem as well. So to get the economy really going, but he doesn't want to have too much consumption at this stage. So really following that supply side economics, which Trump does so well. All right, let's get on into Bitcoin. Bitcoin was green before the live stream, but it's not as green as now. Hey, we've got a few other people in the chat there. We've got Wookie. Tariff. Let's say tariff. Well, Wookie feels better. Yeah, instead of fight. Yeah. Brian's in the house as well. Good to see you, Brian. So, folks, welcome to the chat there. And we also got Hedgehog as well. He's pretty excited about the tariffs. He's pretty excited. All right, so yeah, this was actually green. Now it is we're holding pretty well. I mean, look at Bitcoin. It's $90,000. OMG, that's really good. I know it's down 0.25% at the moment, but it's just depending on 24 hour. Bitcoin dominance very strong, 59.4%. Ethereum at the moment down 1.3%, 2,200. Ethereum's the one that's really been hit, if you ask me. Like Bitcoin's still up pretty good, 90,000. But Ethereum there, man, that's down pretty relatively low, 2,200. Remember, we got the highest we've been is to 4,100, and we have not yet taken out the previous 2001. Oh, sorry, 2021, 2001, 2021 high of 4,900, right? So a lot of work to be done with Ethereum. And BNB is at $598, pretty much flat. ADA is down 8%. ADA performed pretty well yesterday, down 8% at 91 cents. Solana there is down 1.3%, $143. Tron down 1.7% at 24 cents. We've got SU is actually up a little bit there, 3.7% at $2.75, and Litecoin is down 1.5% at $103. So those are kind of your leaders there. So actually holding up pretty well. I know it looks a little bit pink and stuff, but it's Bitcoin at 90K. That's not too bad. I mean, remember 92K was our support, and we're back at 90,000, so pretty bullish. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons for that coming up. Now, obviously, here is Bitcoin on Coinbase. We see that we're over the 50-day moving average. That's a positive sign, right? 85,800. And the 200 moving average is at 94,264. And now, while we've got a bit of a rollover here, we've actually got some pretty stellar news that could keep us, piling up to that next level, which we're expecting for the end of March, April, heading towards that 150K mark, right? How could we get there? You say, well, it's crypto, right? It's crypto, can happen pretty quick. So even back here in November, look how quickly we rose. We rose massively, right? So we rose to within a couple of days. In fact, 4 days, we rose $22,000 in 4 days. And there's definitely catalysts for that. So we're going to talk about that now. And that was 33% in 4 days. So if you don't think it can happen, it certainly can. And we've got higher lows here at the moment too. If you look, we're 82K 400, and we're over the 50. And we might get another one of these little things where we still keep the golden cross, and we just keep going higher, right? And we start ramping higher, and we are expecting it this time of the cycle. To be fair. So let's jump over into some of the news that would cause that. Well, Trump White House is going to have a crypto summit. And of course, that is tomorrow, US time. It's got confirmed attendees, and this is big news, very positive news. Trump's first White House crypto summit confirms key leader in industry leaders, fueling speculation of a potential US Bitcoin reserve policy announcement. And we will probably get that at the summit. I wouldn't be surprised. It may come out just after it, maybe, but there's a good chance it could happen at the summit tomorrow. And this is very bullish. So that 150K target is definitely on Bitcoin's back. As US President Donald Trump prepares to host the first White House crypto summit on March the 7th, the industry is watching closely to see who will be invited. And I've been saying this for weeks now that, hey, look, this crypto policy is going to be coming. It didn't come as early as people wanted, but Trump had other priorities, right? He's got other priorities with AI and all these other technologies to get industry going before he gets to crypto. And so that's pretty much it. And it's coming down the track. The industry is watching closely to see who will be invited. The roundtable scheduled from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. UTC time is expected to include more than 25 participants, including members of the Presidential Working Group on Digital Assets. And remember, that was his first EO, right? His first executive order was around digital assets. And then after that, that's like, it's like getting a container, and then after that, you fill it up, right? You fill it up, and now it's being filled up, right? So it's kind of cool. As of Wednesday morning, Tourette reported that 11 crypto executives and 2 White House representatives had confirmed their attendance. And Tourette wrote, unclear as of now who, aside from Bob Hines and David Sachs, will be in attendance. But if you go back to Trump's executive order, the Presidential Working Group also includes Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and the SEC Chair, CFTC Chair, and others. So the real heavyweights in the cabinet there. Those are the golden stars you want to see. The list of confirmed executives so far as to be attending. Well, you had Michael Saylor, founder of Michael Saylor there. You had David Bailey, CEO of Bitcoin Magazine, Matt Huang, co-founder of Paradigm, JP Richardson, CEO of Exodus, Kylie Samani there, managing partner of Multi-Coin Capital, Zach Witkoff there, co-founder of Trump-linked World Liberty Financial, which has been buying, I think it was bought some more Bitcoin yesterday, or Ethereum, I can't remember which one now, but it was one of those two. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink, Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase. Now, interesting, Sergey Nazarov there is for Chainlink And as you guys know, we're expecting Signum Oracle to be launching any day this time. So I know they've just had a few things and they're waiting for the market to settle down. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, Vlad Tenev there of Robinhood, CEO of Robinhood, Arjun Sethi there, CEO of Kraken, Chris Mazalik there, CEO of Crypto.com, and Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. So some pretty big heavyweights in the crypto sphere, and a number of unconfirmed ones. Kathy Wood there, founder of ARK, Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of Ethereum, Jeremy Allaire there, CEO of Circle, also Paolo Ardano there of Tether, Charles Hotinskin of Cardano, and Anatoly Yakovenko of Solana, and Mark Anderson of Ripple and other ones there. So those are all to be confirmed. Now, White House people confirmed that it was executives. They got Bo Hines there, executive director. And they got David Sachs out, the AI and crypto czar, Mark Uyeda, acting chairman of the U.S. Securities Commission, so the SEC, and Caroline Pham, the acting chairman of the U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission. But these are the heavyweights on the other side as well, waiting for Howard Lutnick, Scott Besant, and Pam Bondi to confirm as well. So we'll see which ones end up there. I'd probably reasonably expect at least those top two to be there, Howard and Scott. So a heavyweight thing. This is what everyone wanted in crypto. While Terence listed include Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, he previously hinted at his attendance in March the 2nd, post on X after Trump's crypto czar Sachs announced the summit on March the 1st. I will certainly continue to champion this while in Washington at the end of his week of the week, says Garlinghouse. According to Terry, Trump's invites were emailed to attendees on March the 4th afternoon, implying that Garlinghouse was amongst the first executives to receive the invitation beforehand. Got some evidence of that. And of course, the larger event is planned for those who are not invited. So there's going to be a reception, basically, I think, after that. A larger invite-only reception is being planned across the street from the White House for those not invited to the roundtable meeting. I'm sure we're going to get lots of social media posts from that. It'll be pretty awesome. As speculation around the summit continues, the crypto community has called for the inclusion of other key industry figures, including ARK founder, of course, Ethereum, etc., which we read out. Lutnick hints at a potential US Bitcoin reserve. Of course, the Commerce Secretary there. The summit comes as anticipated bills over Trump's administration's stance on potential U.S. cryptocurrency reserve. Trump's Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, who is really just such a great guy, has hinted that Bitcoin may receive special consideration in the administration's crypto policy. And that's Lutnick there, right? So, and he's always laughing. Every time Trump makes a joke, he laughs all the time. It's pretty fun. So very, very good, loyal friend there of Trump's, and very talented too. The president definitely thinks that there's a Bitcoin strategic reserve, Lutnick said on March the 5th. So there we go. It's coming. It's coming. Now there will be a question of how do we handle other cryptocurrencies, and I think the model is going to be announced on Friday when we do that. So big news potentially coming up tomorrow. The other big news is that we saw rumors on the street from Eric Trump talking about the fact that crypto may be tax-free as well. So both of those pieces, the strategic reserve and tax-free crypto, man, this could be absolutely ballistic leading into March. So even though it's been pretty horrific the last week with the volatility of tariffs and other things, man, it could be pretty brutal to the upside. So that is good news. Now, furthering that, of course, we've got commentary here about the U.S. crypto reserve could boost Bitcoin market cap by $460 billion. The market is still assigning a relatively low probability to the creation of a national crypto reserve, but that could all change in the next 24 hours. So that's really cool from the crypto conference there. And of course, at the White House, creating a strategic crypto reserve in the United States could boost Bitcoin's market cap by roughly 25%, or approximately $460 billion, according to analysis by Signum Bank. U.S. President Donald Trump's plan for a national crypto stockpile, along with similar proposals across dozens of U.S. states, could trigger a multi-billion-dollar buying spree with 20x multiplier effect on Bitcoin's price. Did you hear that? 20x multiplier effect on Bitcoin's price. I mean, it's mind-boggling, right? Mind-boggling. 20x effect on the Bitcoin price. So we're in. It could absolutely go ballistic, right? Could absolutely go ballistic. Because of the liquid supply of Bitcoin is very small. As you guys know, there's 21 million Bitcoin. Was it about 19.5 million, I think, out that has been mined, probably just over that. And we know that something like 4 million is lost it as well. And of course, 1 million sitting in Satoshi's wallet. So, this thing could go through the roof there. Remember, we're only just begun. There. Tickhauser there added the federal or state government Bitcoin buying would be likely to trigger another wave of allocations. That's from federal and or state government Bitcoin buying. Allocations from institutional investors as well. So not only have you got the federal, but you've got the states and you've got institutional investment as well, all coming in on each other, all fighting to get it. And not only if as the US does this, then what happens, all the sovereign states around the world compete for crypto, particularly Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and it could be huge, right? It could be huge. And ADA, it could be massive there. Institutional capital flows are already exerting a multiplier effect on BTC's spot price, with every $1 billion worth of net inflows into spot exchange traded funds driving approximately 3 to 6% price movement. And that's only going to accelerate, right? As well. And you can see that in the chart here, Bitcoin price versus Bitcoin ETF accumulated net inflows, right? Or net flows. So the net flows are these gray bars at the bottom here. You can see January when we started, right? I think it was January the 10th. And we started off quite low here, down, it was a very successful launch. But let's say it was around about $40 billion. And here we are right now up at around $95 billion. Isn't that crazy? And of course, the Bitcoin price is in red, tracking it up. And so this is just the opening dish before the main meal. Was it the entree? That's what they call it. Entree. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. So very, very exciting there. So that is pretty cool. Now, obviously, states are also ramping up. So Texas surges in U.S. states, pace race to put public funds into crypto. When it rains, it pours, right? It pours, is that right? Or the lightning's coming. Texas Bitcoin Strategic Reserve bill clears its Senate. So this is all happening at the same time, folks. So if you felt really down on crypto and Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin's holding at 90K. Come on, that's pretty amazing. And here we are with about to have possibly the biggest sovereign states in the world about to fund crypto. And it's going to be crazy, guys. It's going to be crazy. Texas Bitcoin Strategic Reserve bill clears at Senate, while New Hampshire marks a committee win and Utah teeters on the deadline of this week. So these Republican states in particular are really moving fast on it. Texas and New Hampshire advancing bills to invest public funds in the Bitcoin following momentum from President Trump's push for a U.S. crypto reserve. Utah is one vote away from passing a similar measure, but time is running out before the state's legislative session expires this week. This comes after Trump's plan to hold multiple cryptocurrencies, and a Federal Reserve has drawn criticism as industry leaders argue Bitcoin is the only asset comparable to gold. And we saw BlackRock talk about that, right? And we just see the BlackRock's taken over 2 ports in the Panama Canal, pretty much achieving a lot of Trump's view to take that over, so that the Chinese, who have been sneaking up control of that place, will be put in check. And that's a very good strategic point of view and revenue point of view as well. Several U.S. states are getting closer to putting public money into cryptocurrencies, spurred by Donald Trump. And some of those, as we said, Bitcoin, according to a statement from Texas Senator Charles Schwartner there, last week has proven itself through multiple boom and bust cycles, making it a great reserve asset in times of a devastating national deficit, which obviously Trump is trying to fix. Remember, the deficit in the U.S. for the Federal Reserve, the federal deficit is $2 trillion. And obviously Dodge is trying to claw a lot of that deficit back, currently at about $160 billion clawed back, and targeting $1 trillion, right? So that should half the deficit alone, getting it down to $1 trillion. And that last trillion, of course, is the servicing amount to for the government debt. So the government debt servicing is $1 trillion, can you believe it? And that's a horrific amount of money. And a lot of that is owned by Chinese, who own about $880 billion of debt, and they get paid a lot of that money. So it's a pretty crazy world. Trump is fixing all that stuff up. So if, that is the big picture stuff. So devastating national deficit and inflation and uncertainty. New Hampshire has also passed a bill on Wednesday through a state House committee, the House Bill 302, by a 16-1 vote. So very good support that would allow the state to invest up to 5% of public funds into Bitcoin as well as other precious metals. So it's moving forward, though it's a few votes away from the finishing line. Almost a dozen states have made strong efforts to pass bills that would allow similar allocations, while at least 5 states ran into setbacks or no votes that tanked their bills. Now, they're the ones that are going to lose out, right? As we all know, they're going to regret that later on. Utah has also been the forefront in a variety of efforts and remains just one Senate approval away from sending a bill to its governor's desk. However, the legislative session expires this week, leaving a little time to get the Senate to join the state House in approving an investment of as much as 5% of certain public accounts in a digital asset with more than $500 billion in assets. So far, that's just Bitcoin. The Utah Senate acts by Friday. The final word goes to the Republican governor, Spencer Cox, who has supported a blockchain policy in the past. If not, Utah's efforts get put off another year, and the other states such as Arizona and Texas could take the spotlight. The recent action comes after President Trump, of course, on Sunday, again discussed his own plan for strategic crypto reserve. Trump said the U.S. strategic crypto reserve could hold XRP, Solana, Cardano, as well as Bitcoin, Ethereum, though many details of the effort and how it would be executed remain uncertain. So we should find out a lot of stuff tomorrow. Many industry leaders have criticized Trump's decision to hold cryptocurrency beyond Bitcoin, as it is one of the best fits of the characteristics of other reserve assets such as gold. The president, however, hasn't provided clear guidelines how such a strategy would work. For example, how the government would source the tokens. So that is kind of the updates there. Pretty bullish, right? Pretty bullish. So that's going to be really fun to see that. So next 24 hours could be a whirlwind. This weekend could be fantastic. We'll just see if we get stuff around the strategic reserve, crypto taxes out of that conference at the White House tomorrow, US time. So pretty cool. Got to remember, we're always a day ahead here. So it is. It's just the way it goes, isn't it? So that is pretty neat. Get some comments, folks, into the chat as well. I just had some little video I was going to play. Let's see if I can play. I don't know whether I can cue it up there. Let's see if we can cue this up. Not sure if it's going to play, but let's see if we can get that going. I haven't done this before. This is new. This is me using new technology in the studio here. Let's see if we can play that. See if it will play. Just one moment, caller.
We're delighted to be joined
taking
by
a second here to play.
Thank you very much. Today,
it's a very big file size.
To be joined
I can see it's playing, but I can't hear it myself.
The chairman and CEO of CGM, one of the largest shipping companies in the world, probably number 2 in the world, probably going to be number 1 in the not too distant future, knowing him. They employ over 160,000 employees. They have 750 major container vessels worldwide. And I'm thrilled to announce that he's going to be investing $20 billion into the United States because of the election results, which comes along with a lot of other things like great protections and other things. This massive investment will go toward building out shipping logistics, infrastructure, and terminals, which will create an estimated 10,000 new jobs in America. It's so important because it's about shipping. You know, we lost our way for many years. We haven't done anything. We used to build a ship a day, and now we essentially don't build ships. We're going to start that, and we're going to be announcing next week or the week after a massive new program for building very large, the largest ships in the world. And it'll have to do with incentives, taxes. They'll be coming from all over the world, just like they are with cars, with what we've done with tariffs. And we have at least 7 new major car plants that are going to be starting very shortly because of what we're doing with the tariffs, which will primarily start on April the 2nd. Most of the tariffs go on April the 2nd. Right now we have some temporary ones and small ones on relatively small, although it's a lot of money having to do with.
All right, so as you can see, $20 billion investment alone there into US shipping. It is going to be a big deal. I don't think people really understand how when Trump said that there was going to be a golden age of America, I don't think people understand what he was talking about. But I think within probably 2 years' time at the minimum, they will see dramatic changes in the United States in a visual sense and feel it as well. It's going to be very, very dramatic. So there'll be a little bit of shake up in between because you've got to reshake the bad setup that was before him. But man, it's going to be crazy. So, $2 trillion of investment already inside 45 days. This is unbelievable amount of money. And of course, it's been very directed into the very best assets. So it's going to be really impressive. It is crazy. And I really don't think people get it. And so, that's why we're covering it on this channel. It is going to be quite something. It's going to be pretty awesome. Nothing like Trump says it. It's going to be nothing like anyone's seen before, and it's going to be true. It's going to be true. And it doesn't mean that there's going to be a little bit of ups and downs here and there, but I think that you're going to see some pretty amazing stuff. America truly will get back into the golden age as well. It's great to see. All right, so let's get into any other comments we've got. We've got a couple more comments before we move on. Let's see here what we got here. 24-hour stream? No 24-hour stream today. You're talking about for the White House conference? No, but we will cover it. We'll definitely cover it, that's for sure. What else we got there? Brian says he can't wait for the golden era. That's true. Well, your golden era might start tomorrow, Brian, because that Bitcoin White House, we get any of those announcements that I talked about, which are looking very, very promising. Then it will be pretty golden era straight away. Don't have to wait too long. So pretty cool. And now let's get into Richard Hart here on Pulsechain. He's been very, very bullishly posting, of course, winning his court case against the SEC. We know that after about the March the 20th, the SEC's got no other chance of proceeding with that through the court, and they're most likely to drop it anyway because it's this new SEC leadership, etc. But Richard here is people have been trying to get Hex and listed back on to Uniswap and stuff, and apparently Dipcatcher made an application that was approved, and as far as I know, I haven't checked it myself, but Hex is back on Uniswap, so good news there. Now Richard's posted about Matcha. Thanks Matcha for listing Hex on Ethereum. So Matcha is now listed Hex as well. They're all pretty bad, right? They all call themselves kind of DeFi platforms, and they're all not DeFi platforms, right? So that's the fact. We found out you get tested, and they got tested and they failed, but at least they've got them back up now. So Matcha now got Hex back on, so that's going to increase the trading ability for Hex, and that's good news. So like I say, I'm expecting Hex in this bull market to get into the dollars price. So this is a good enabler for that. They are an aggregator, finds the best deals, and also have limit orders as well. So you can do limit orders there as well. So that was from Richard there. Very, very cool. Following that post, that was on the 6th of March, he also posted out about CowSwap. Thanks to CowSwap for supporting TWAP. So time-weighted average price, swap and limit order for Hex. So that's in there as well. So everyone's coming back. Hex is getting all its enablers, making it easier for people to buy Hex, which is pretty cool. Certainly makes eHex look good, right? And we saw Hex a little pump. Was it yesterday, the day before? So it was kind of cool. Now that is Richard Hart. Now the results for day 664 on Pulsechain. We've got the price at quadruple 0405, and of course that's up 2.9% at the moment. So it's a pretty good thing to see some green at least. Pulsex at quadruple 0403, up 3.8%. The buy and burn is at 1,299 billion, so almost at 1.3 trillion. And the buy and burn is 6.54% of the public supply of Pulsex. So that's going well. Incentive token $2.42, up 0.8%. The ratio just dipped below 60,000 pulse. It's at 59,869 pulse per one incentive. The supply is around about 55 million, although I don't know if that thing is updated at all, but it's around 55. And we know that the inflation's been cut 20x, so it's only 5% of what it used to be because Richard's team's cut it. And of course, we saw about 40% of the farm value flow out. Where it's gone, you get to decide. Hex at the moment is 1.13 cents, up 3.75% at the moment. And eHex there at 39/100th of a penny. Combined price of Hex and PX is 1.5 cents. And look, a very good entry price for Hex right now, in my opinion. And if we do get that Bitcoin crypto reserve stuff tomorrow, we could see some big moves in the asset prices over the weekend. So, take note. There we go. That was tip of the day. Is that the tip of the day, Brian? Is that the tip of the day? I don't know. Yeah, I think it is the tip of the day. Wookie heard the view is behind the CowSwap, did he? All right. I'll have what Wookie's smoking. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go over to the gas prices. We got the beats have been really high. Have you noticed lately? Very volatile. 5.4 million beats today. But like I say, just depends on the time of day. You can get pretty cheap prices again. But at 8 cents at the moment for a Pulsex swap. And Gwei on Ethereum, one Gwei. We're 10x cheaper than Ethereum at the moment. So not 10x. 10x, that's still pretty good, but we used to be thousands of times cheaper, remember? Hundreds and thousands. Valos at the moment is 47,548. We've noticed a little creeping increase in the Valo numbers. So that's kind of been good. They move around a couple hundred each day, but it's been generally to the upside. We can see a slight little increase in that chart. We're at 113,750,000. So we're way up from yesterday, about $1 million. I think about $1 million up from yesterday, 900K maybe. That is where we are. So we'll keep checking that. All right. So the volumes on Pulsechain, 27.8 million, not as high as yesterday. but still okay. And the transactions 236,000. Some of the big movers at the moment. We got Missor. We covered Missor, didn't we, with MV Johnson? He's in the chat today, by the way. And that is up 36%, so doing pretty well. In fact, let's have a quick look at that chart because that is looking not too bad. Now, it had quite a bit of volatility. I mean, it's what you had. It's crypto, right? So, but where it was zigzagging up, so it's actually been doing pretty well. Is it going about to make the next move? I wonder. Had a little top over here of 6.8 cents. Currently at 5.1 cents. So if you can handle the volatility, that could be the play. That could be the play there. And Wookie says, "Easy boss, your heart may miss a beat." Yeah. Well, it's true in crypto. Crypto generally, right? Is the case. So that is doing pretty well, and you get PLS tokens, don't you? Airdrop to your wallet, holding Missile there, so not bad. Finance on Fire there. I think that's another one of their projects, or that's actually been around for a year. Might be Finfire. I've just forgotten. Got a mind block on Finfire. Have seen Finfire around before though. 21%. What else? The P Maker. So if you know the P Die Maker theory, we're about P Die becoming $1 and the Maker contract becoming active. That's at $20.80 at the moment, up 15%. That's had a couple of good days in a row, hasn't it? The old P Die. Pretty sure. Well, it's had a day in a row. A good day was yesterday. Yeah, but it come back to here. It's up from $21. So it's 15 minutes. So let me get to the daily. Sorry, my bad. Last 2 days, maybe in 3 days, because we came off the bottom at $16.70. We're now at $22.80 on the PDI. But remember, it got all the way up here at $80. So is that a good entry where it is at the moment? Is it starting to is that looking like a good entry for that? We should see. Now, remember, the SEC is pretty much gone, the court case. So you just never know with these contracts. Could they get activated? We shall see. On that. What else there? We got Phoenix is up 12%. That's been around for a month. Gelato has been around for 3 months. It's up 9%. Remember the 5th of December, is it? Is it what it's called? But that is one of the other tokens in the same ecosystem as Missa, all under Finvesta, right? Finvesta is kind of the grandfather. All these are like children. Maybe they're naughty children, but they're there as well, up 8%. You're getting a lot of dripping and stuff like that from them. What else? So, and obviously Pulsechain has made the line there, 8.6% up. 9mm, our second biggest DEX, is up 8.5%. I keep on forgetting to go and check out PH Universe, but we'll have to do that as well. I just have to do that sometime. But have we actually got it up here? If I still got it, PH, is it going to bring it up? It's got Fatty Wallet, but I don't know if it's got the... I've just forgotten the name off my top of my head. That's terrible when you do that, especially when you've been streaming it. So that's pretty much where we are at the moment. Dominance token up 6.6%. Chic up 7%. It's only been around for 17 days. That's probably been launched on Pump.Tires, which Richard promotes. ALGO up 6.6%. 9-inch, our third biggest DEX at the moment, up 6.5%. And then Pulsex and Hex obviously leading the way there, up 5%. Loan token, of course, from Liquid Loans. Where did the $50 million go? Well, they probably spent at least a couple $1 million on getting it up and running, right? Maybe let's say 10%. Let's say $5 million with marketing and developers. But then you still got they raised about 52 million, my memory. So it's like, where's the other 47, right? Where's the other 47? And they didn't deliver the Fetch Oracle. And they were also going to do a big partnership with a big consumer, onboarding consumer to Pulsechain, and that didn't come out either. So I'm not sure what's happening there. But they did a pretty good job with Liquid Loans, and it's up and running. It's some questions, some decent questions to ask there, right? Anyway, so that is where the price is at the moment. Pretty miserable if you're in Liquid Loans. What else can you say? The market cap is 1.2 million, and about $52 million went into it, and there's probably still 45 million, let's say, floating around somewhere. That's my guess. It all went off to Binance, didn't it, or something like that? Questions. It's fair to ask those questions, given the magnitude of the money. All right, so what else we got there going there? Let's jump down here a bit further. Let's see here. Most Wanted. That was from the first day of Pump.Tires website. That was up. It's 4.5% at the moment. Let's see how that's going. That's probably one of the 2 or 3 top ones, isn't it? Yeah, see the price there. Had a big launch and then came back down. Big zaggity. 6.4 cents at the moment. I don't really, looks a little bit scary at that type part of the chart there. It looks like it's almost breaking down a little bit, doesn't it, from its previous support? So yeah, you never know though. It's pretty volatile, but it looks a little bit scary. UFO though up 4.4% related to is that the one 10 months? Yeah, I think that's the one related to PDC and so on. So those are kind of the where we are at the moment. We've got another one that just popped at the top there too, Puppers. It's been around for 7 days. It's up 90% as well. Let's have a quick look at that chart. It's probably from Pump.Tires as well. They're not all Pump.Tires projects that launch, but a lot of them probably have been these days. And that's where it is at the moment. We'll see where it goes. Pop token. All right, all very speculative. Remember that. That brings us into TitanX. So we're going to get into talk about that. Before we do, though, let's have a look at any comments in the chat. Brian says tip of the day. Yeah, that's the one. Hashtag tip of the day. That's for sure. And he says Limpy Mick Johnson. I don't know. That's not probably a very, very nice way to talk about MV there, Brian. But Brian's the community leader, so you know what he says goes. So that's pretty much it. All right, you can tuss it out with MV in the chat. They're BFFs actually, aren't they? They're BFFs, BFFs forever, as we say. All right, so let's get into the final ramp up there, and we're going to change the view, and we're going to get into TitanX and have a look at where that's going at the moment. So obviously we were waiting for wave 3. All the buy and burns have been turned off. So if you're familiar with that, the TitanX is highly collaterally backed. It's got very big collateral backing, but it's on the still trying to find the bottom here, and it's pretty miserable for most people unless you're buying, right? Unless you're buying, and so we had this first wave, this 10x wave here, beautiful, and then we had a massacre on the other side, all the way down to second wave. And we thought we might finish second wave down here, which would have meant down there, yeah, down there at 3,000. But we ended up going all the way down to 2,000, and that's currently where we are at the moment. Now we're all waiting for wave 3. All the buy and burns have been turned off, and the roadmap for OmniChain is in development, and it's probably pretty close, pretty imminent. But you just never know, right? Timing is always the most difficult thing. The probability of a crypto doing well, you can work that out generally pretty well. But timing is always difficult when you're reliant on market conditions and the developers actually building the products. So just that taken into account, there's kind of the two things there to consider. Now the ratio to ETH at the moment is slightly better, slightly better than the price we got down here when we started our first 10x here. We were down at 10 zeros, 5,700. We're now at 10 zeros, 9,200. So I mean, that's what 80% better at the moment than where we started, but still pretty miserable given the fact that we were at 906,000 up here. So just take that into account. But the fundamentals are still extremely strong. Like I say, with the high collateral, 80-90% collateral behind it, with a buy and burn. So still looking very good there, and the OmniChain development going big, and a good set of developers also doing some pretty amazing stuff in the DeFi space. So definitely this is going to have some pretty glorious third wave, I might guess, when it actually happens. X28, which is the OmniChain version of that, is sitting at the 0.88 ratio. So it's quite a discount to TitanX itself, but that could all turn around pretty quickly once the OmniChain strategy starts taking place. DragonX at the moment sitting at 8 TitanX per DragonX, looking strong again. I think that's a pretty good, strong, a very launchpad strong there. We were down at was it 6.4 or something? So that is looking pretty. I think we might even got to 5.7 or something, but we're up at 8 again. So that's a really good move ahead for the future. DragonX got a lot of protocol stuff coming out from Eric as well. So those are, Jake and Eric. Shogun also going to go OmniChain, so it's going to have its day in the sun as well. That's obviously still got some really good perpetual auctions and buy and burn, and also getting taxes from the volume, right? So it's got 3 fundamentals there, and it's going to have the 4th one, which will be going OmniChain, and that could be. We're looking forward to see the innovation in that space from Jake as well. As we said earlier, Hydra and Hyper, they're pretty much minted out. The buy and burns are high collateral as well, almost around about a 2-to-1 ratio, not as strong as TitanX, which is like 80-90%, but it's still very, very good for getting a pump on as well, right? So cool. Volt at the moment, 8,660 there. Volt looks like a very good buy at the moment. And of course, if you haven't gotten to our strategy club, the link is in the video description to the Discord. Only $35 a month. Get in there as well. I do have a big update for Strategy Club that I was supposed to put in yesterday or the day before, and I'm going to do that hopefully today, later on, probably in a couple of hours' time. So that is where we are at the moment on Vaults, and we've got a lot of big stuff coming from Vault. Obviously, Ouroboros, collateral, Thunderbolt staking, and Bitcoin Genie. So going to feed into that vault. So it's kind of looking. We know the timing of that's just because of the market conditions probably at the moment, and also waiting for probably Jake Sharp to start doing some stuff as well. That's my guess there with Stevie D, who's the developer there. Really one of the best DeFi tokenomics guys in the world, I would say, is Stevie D. So pretty cool. Now we've got Inferno that's going omni-chain as well. We found that out from Crypto Utah, the founder, a co-founder of the Inferno. What else has we got there? Morpheus. We're expecting stuff from Morpheus with Brandon, one of the big influencers and developers in the space, looking to probably V3 dexes, maybe to base chain and Pulsechain, and maybe some other stuff that's going on Morpheus. So we're looking forward to that to expand as well. That's looking pretty good. Nice little discount today. What else there? We're looking at let's see here. Tink Farm. We're expecting a lot more for Tink Farms coming up with Vibermix. What's that? Vibermix launching mid March, and potentially we've also got the Bonfire, which is feeding that as well a little bit, and we may get some big stuff coming from Eric as well regarding farms going over to base chain as part of the omni-chain strategy. So lots of projects and teams going omni-chain strategy, and that's going to help a lot with the ecosystem. And then Element 280, of course, is going over omni-chain along with 369 and 380. So that's all going over. And, of course, Baby Dragon X is also going over here. And that's going to make big, thick LP webbing over on base chain. It's going to certainly benefit the Uranus token there, which is just going up from strength to strength. Look at this thing, 2.63 x28. And I covered that one, right? And that's doing very well. So if you'd been in Uranus, you'd be very happy with me talking about it because it's going pretty well. And that is the link to the Strategy Club there. So join up today. My link to Discord is way better than Wookie's. That's true. That's true. We got Wookie says it's about the same odds of finding out what happened to the money as you would get asking. Zelensky says, Wookie, yeah, there's $100 billion missing. I wonder where that has gone. And apparently Zelensky is now a billionaire. So apparently maybe that's the answer. All right. So that is where we are there at the moment. Lots of good stuff about to happen. Of course, it's pretty miserable at the moment, but it's a perfect buying time. That's all I'll say. And if you're holding all those, just hodl because it's going to be looking pretty good in the future. Genie there as well. That is coming up there from Stevie D, and also I'm looking forward to Taurus coming up there from Cryptographics. That could be very, very cool tokenomics as well. And of course, there's Vibernex, which is going to benefit Tink token. Expected to launch mid-March. That is kind of where we are at the moment. So kind of cool. And that is where we're there. Which screen am I on? All right, that screen. All right. All right, so let me jump over to the screen. Here we go. We're moving around quite a bit here. So that is where we are today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. How we're doing? 47 minutes on the hour. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you're on the Crypto Night Show, if you're on Superman Crypto, or if you're on Pulsechain X, big shout out. And if you haven't joined our Discord, links in the video description. Only $5 a month to join our Discord. Get on there as soon as you can. Because we're probably having a price revision there soon. And also get into a Strategy Club, only $35 a month. Very, very cool. Giving big updates there. And I'm definitely going to get my update into today, probably in about 3 or 4 hours' time, as my guess. So definitely join that. And of course, if you want a one-on-one session with me, talking about crypto and personal finance and other things like that, then we do have a new offering, $99 a month for a 45-minute session. So definitely you can connect up with that as well. And particularly good if you're sort of a beginner intermediate in crypto. Very good for that. And I have a new offering that's in development at the moment, and that will be coming up as well. And that's going to be highly promoted. I'm going to be highly promoting that one. So look forward to that. It's going to be really good. Final comments. Wookie says, you should see the size of my Renee Super. Oh, very good there, Wookie. We appreciate your hashtag family channel. Yeah, I think he's talking about the planet Uranus, the planet there. All right, so very, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I will catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you later in the day for the second show. Bye for now.